Okay, I'm back. My computer crashed. Dale, can you hear me? Okay, I don't know. I just talked to Dale on the phone. I don't know if he should be able to come back on. But let me go back over. Let me screen share again and go back and show what I was doing. Oh, the technical difficulties. Go back to Facebook here. So what I was going to show you was all the Facebook groups. I belong to a ton of them. And Dale, when you come back, let me know. I belong to a lot of them. And if you go into any of them, I'll just go into this one. You can see that basically what people are doing is they're just spamming their links all over Facebook in here with different, it's nothing really that's good content. A couple of things that you can do is I'll syndicate my blog post out. And like this is a blog post I did this morning, something like that into a Facebook group or a video with some free training. Let me go into, this is a system, and I know a lot of people that are online were all part of the system. I have all of these, and if you're new and you haven't written any copy or anything, don't worry about it, because you can just basically take some swipe copy for now till you get used to it. And you don't have to worry about making your own funnels because they do that for you. But what I can do, this is a free training about Facebook jail, and take something like this, just take the whole swipe copy, copy it, go back over to Facebook and post something like this in the groups rather than taking your business link. And you have to do, this is again, something you've got to do consistently to generate leads. And if you do this every day consistently, you'll start generating leads. And you should have an autoresponder. If you don't have one, I think that's the most essential tool. But what you can do is you go into these groups, and instead of posting, your business link, say, oh, you can make this much money, come join. But this is post something like this, and you can generate leads. Now, Facebook is being funky. They're asking for whatever. And Facebook if you're not used to it, start out and just do a few. Don't, because if you haven't used Facebook before, the chances are that you can't, you're not going to be able to do it. So, but that rather than doing something like the, just taking your business link, you'll drive people away from your profile rather than attracting them towards you. If you do post something, you could take something like that, a free training, and post that on your timeline and generate some leads that way. And there's a better use of these groups by networking. If you belong to a group for a program you're in, or to a particular subject, to go in those and start meeting people. If you're not meeting, one of the other things I do every day is I meet 10 new people, and I'll go into groups and meet people. If you're going to message people and you're not friends with them, so for your information, is that there's 3 different places that you can look for groups. You can hear message requests, and then in this filter thing, if you do 3, these other ones come down. So let me just, if you're here, Dale, you're there?
I'm here.
Okay. If you guys put a message in your chat, how many people are here? Because I just got a message on Facebook that somebody got thrown off. I see that there are some people, but just give me a shout out in the chat so I know who's here. Because I'm assuming, because I'm seeing some people, that people can see it. But that's a better way to use these groups. And one of the things that I do is, especially if you can find some groups that are in your niche, that it's just conversation, people sharing stuff with. What I do is I'll go through a group and I'll go through the members. If I don't know somebody, let me pick another group. When I'm doing my connecting with 10 people, and this is the way to expand your circle of influence. And if you start doing this every day, Like this is a group I belong to. That if I could go through here and go through the members, I'll go through and find people I'm not friends with. And you don't have to do, it's nothing weird, just, connecting with people, sending them, okay, now I don't know her. So I'm going to go over to her page. I'm going to leave her a message and say something to the effect of, hi, we're both in such and such a group. I just wanted to connect. Tell them, say, I sent you a friend request so they know, send them a friend request. If you're following the person, you can go to their profile and leave them, if you do a little asterisk like this and their name, and you're following somebody, you could leave them a message on their timeline. If you can leave something there and say, hey, I sent you a message. So they're more likely to see that, because when you are sending friend requests to people that you don't know, I'm sure a lot of people don't know there's 3 places you can go look. If you're not friends with somebody, it's not going to go into that main box. So if you start doing that, you might just kind of get in the habit of it. You'll connect with more people. And some people just aren't going to answer you. That's just kind of, or, I've got messages back from people 3 or 4 months after I originally sent them a message. I mean, that is kind of what's par for doing this. But if you're doing this every day, pick a couple things. Decide that, you should definitely be reaching out and meeting. I say 10 new people. If you don't feel like you can do 10 to start out, do 5. And connect with 5 different people. You don't want to be talking to the same people all the time. You're not going to be able to expand your circle. Always now, this is probably another good thing that's coming through my news feed. And she's writing here about, she was in some sort of a treatment. I'm not sure exactly what she was doing. She's got 3 pictures. She's got 60 people that liked it. You can comment on something. When you comment on a thread like this, that's got a lot of engagement, or what I was showing you over on Eric Worre's page, you're going to get noted. And if you say something like, they're just gorgeous, beautiful, find something that's, if you can separate yourself and be unique and not do what everybody else is doing, you're going to make yourself stand out more. And there's, that one doesn't have that much engagement. But go through your news feed a couple times a day. You're fine. Now, this is another one. And this is true, your network is your net worth. This says like 30 people liking it. Comment on it, make it something like that somebody, or tag the person that posted it. I usually tag them. And when you tag somebody, they get a message too. It's another way to get the person's attention so they notice you. One of the things I do on my timeline, when people are commenting on my stuff, I try to make the point to go down and see who commented and respond to each person. It's another way. Look at it like your timeline's your house. If somebody came to your house, you wouldn't like stand there and ignore them. You would acknowledge them and go through and like or comment or both on things that people write on your page. And when I was tagged in this, when something like this that somebody else does, this got a lot of engagement and responses. Comment on it. Get people noticing you and get yourself out there. Because there's over 1 billion people on Facebook right now that have active accounts. There's a ton of traffic on here. You should tap into it. If you belong, any programs you belong to, most of them have a group. Like most of us are in MLSP. This is the community group. There's over 18,000 people in here. I make a point to come in here every day, and depending on what's coming down. Now I know Kay, he just hit out one. I liked it and commented on it. If there's something in here that somebody puts a question, and not just this group, other groups that are tied with a program or a subject, if you can answer it, go ahead and answer it. This is the kind of stuff that's and there's always somebody, there's something that you may know that you can share with somebody else. The more engaged you get with this kind of stuff, this is Brian Finale, who they post this on the blog, but they do success story. Well, this is Saturday, but people who got some sort of result. But, you know, comment on this kind of stuff. You know, this is somebody else. Yeah, were you
Linda,
going to say something?
yeah, just for clarification, because I didn't know, I didn't have a clue what you meant until I started working with you. But you had mentioned tag somebody,
Hmm.
so maybe just for clarification, go into a little more detail what that actually means.
Okay. I'll show you when I say tag somebody. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, now, see, now this is somebody who I don't really know. He went and he tagged me. It's showing up on my timeline. I don't want it here. You can remove the tag, and just it'll come off my page. And people, I mean, you want to leave your timeline open, but there are people that will do that. Just like there's people who will add you to a Facebook group without asking you. Um, but you don't want to shut your timeline off, because that happens less and it happens more. But be aware of it. You do want to leave your page open that other people can come and say something. But let me go down here and look at a comment. Okay. These are a couple people that actually I know Rhonda, and Rhonda made a comment on here. I'm going to comment to her, and I want to tag her, and we're friends. So when you're friends with somebody, if you just pull up them as friends, it'll come up like, well, it's not letting me. Okay. Facebook doesn't want to work for me today. If I do this, usually when you're friends with somebody, you don't have to. Now this isn't working right. All right. Let's try something else. It should pull the when you're friends with somebody and you go to tag them, it should pull the person's profile up. And for that reason, I'm not sure why it wasn't doing that. Let's try something else.
Which, when you're tagging somebody, you're kind of sending them a direct message that they'll get versus just putting
Right.
a comment on their timeline.
Right. Facebook gives them out a message like they get when you follow somebody. And then what happens is, like, I tagged her here. When I click on it, her or his that's his profile. So it comes up in blue. You know that somebody's been tagged, or you've tagged them when their name is in blue like that. And it's when you're friends with somebody, it's really easy. Their profile comes up. When you're not friends with somebody, and sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. But if you do the little @ sign and then put their name, it should tag them. But you're like Dale said, it is sending them a message. And to get somebody's attention, especially if somebody's got a lot going on. I know if I haven't been on Facebook for a while, these notifications up here, I can come, if I've been off Facebook, I could have a couple hundred of these. And there's no way like that I could go, to go through every single one of these. Your best chances, and there's people I know that they've got tons of, thousands and thousands or tens of thousands of people following them. Even if I tag them, they still may not get it. But if you want to get somebody's attention, tagging them is the best way. The second best thing, if it's something extremely important, I would tell you to private message them if you're friends with them. But that's, and Dale explained it exactly that way, that if you want to tag them, if I just, I'll say I'll tag, if I wanted to tag Diane, let's see, for whatever reason now, this is not, okay. That's, you can see her whole name comes up, and then I could just leave, I say, oh, how are you? And I'm not going to post this, but she's tagged. She'll get a message up here. They come up here in your notifications. You also get notifications, like you can see, these are people when somebody posts. If you belong to a lot of groups, they're going to come up here too. And if you click on this will take you to another page. These are all the notifications. If somebody tagged me in here, people who posted to groups. And these are people that you're friends with, groups that you belong to. So it can be, and if you do belong to groups, you want to turn the notifications on, because if it's a group of something you're involved with and you want to know what's going on, the notifications will be up here. So, I have a lot because I belong to a lot of groups. I've got, 3, 4, 5,000 people between friends and people following me and people I'm following. Sometimes it can be hard to keep up with these. What I like to do is with my groups over here, because I've got groups I'm the admin of, I'll just come look through this, and any of the groups I'm in or that I'm admin, and I'll look, if you can see here, if there's been a post, there's a number. You can set ones to your favorites. Like this is a group of mine of a course that I put together that I have it in one of my favorites. So if anybody, now this person's asking to join, so I will accept her in here. And then usually what I do is I tag the person. I'll come back and do that. But if I come down this feed, these are, and I should probably clean some of these up because these groups, there's not a lot going on, but you can put, there's a certain number, I think it's 20 or 30 that you can mark as favorites on your thing. And if you go to the group, how you do that, if you click on this, you can, now I don't want to remove this, but there's this thing here, mark it on your favorites, and they will show up over here. This is another group I'm an admin of. That actually this group has over 75,000 people. I get over 100 requests today for people to join this. Plus, if anybody reports something to an admin in this group, there's a lot because there's just a lot going on. You can put those groups over here and put them as favorites. And I like to go through these. If I get on in the morning and then if I'm off for a while, just to come over and see if there's anything over here. It's an easier way than these because if you're using the groups to post and all. I mean, if you're going to do that, you need to belong to more than a few. If you want to get your volume up, and this is how you kind of want to start out generating leads, you're probably going to be needing to post. You don't want to start out with like 100, but you want to need to get to 100 or 200 and spread it out over the day. I mean, I'm not posting constantly in the groups anymore to get leads because some of those other things I get leads that way. I get leads off my YouTube videos. If you're starting out and you're broke, I was broke. And you don't have any money to do paid advertising, and you really kind of don't know where to start. This is, the groups are a way for you to go. And let me just go back to what I was showing before we got cut off here. I have tons of free training I can give away. And any of us that use the system, there's some free cheat sheets. I like the cheat sheets. I have one for Facebook and I have one for Instagram. That and you can go post these on your timeline. But this is, I just copy the link. And if you don't know copy or anything, you can just take, like on this cheat sheet, if you put this up, you can copy what, just Facebook getting started cheat sheet. If you really, are new and you don't know how to, you don't know what copy is and you're really not sure what to write. I'm just going to put here, grab your free, you can do this on your fan page too, Facebook cheat sheet. And if I just put, if you're starting out, and you can see here, this comes up, and as you get more experience, you can get your own images, you can start creating that funnel I showed you earlier that I made with my newsletter. It's another tool that I have, but these are all pre-done for you. So if you're starting out, use these. And as you get more, and if you're not getting any leads, and you don't have a traffic source, and Facebook is a traffic source, social media is a traffic source, start doing this to get started, to start getting leads, because if you're not generating leads every day, you're not marketing. So, your first two things, to get traffic and start getting some leads. If you're picking Facebook as your marketing strategy, there's things on Twitter. I am on Twitter. I don't use it a lot, but these are all free stuff we have access to. I'll just post this. And, before I go to bed tonight, or by the time, if I just leave, somebody will see this and say, hey, and I leave it on public, make sure you set them on public, that somebody will see this. It'll go through my news feed. They opt in. If you click on this, it takes them to a capture page and it goes right into my system. And I have this hooked up to my autoresponder that then follow-ups will start going out. But this is a great way. And you can do this in the groups too. I just will tell people that if you haven't used the groups, you got to pace yourself because you don't want to end up in Facebook jail. You don't want to go, and I've been known, when I first started out, I would go crazy posting in the Facebook groups and end up in jail. I mean, if you haven't done any of this and you don't belong to any groups, start out asking to join like 5 groups and post 5 your first day, maybe the next day, do 8 or 10 and work yourself up, because Facebook picks that up. If they see you're doing stuff that's kind of out of the ordinary and they really didn't set your profile up to do business, although there's millions of entrepreneurs, there's a ton of people on here that are using Facebook for business. So to keep yourself out of trouble, I mean, if you send too many friend requests to people that you're not friends with, you're going to get blocked. If you try to private message people, I mean, do it, do it sensibly. If you have a smartphone and say you work a full-time job, you could, if you're on a 15-minute break, you can take something like this, post 10 times or something to the groups and get your volume up so you start getting leads. And I've been able to go on Facebook in any given day when I was just doing all free traffic and not, doing the groups, and get as many as like 25, 30 leads a day. But you have to be consistent, again, with any of this posting. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get your traction up. So one more thing I'll show you, and this involves your fan page. If you are, building a home business, eventually you do want to get a fan page. A fan page is for paid advertising, but with the limits of 5,000 friends on Facebook with your profile, and then you are limited to following 5,000 people. And I've been following people for so long that I am up to that. So I have to manage it. If you're just starting, you don't have to worry about it. But that's why, I mean, your fan page is really geared for business. But you can, and I did that with this post. I posted this yesterday. If you look at here, you can, I'm going to unpin this for a second, but you can pin a post to the top of your fan page. And what it does is it gets more, if I wanted to pin this, if I just hit pin, it refreshes and it comes back. And you can see here, this is at the top of my page. What this does, it'll stay at the top of your page longer, get more exposure. And usually in about 7 days, and Facebook, it'll start, it kind of release it and it'll go down to, the bottom of your page with the rest of your post. But that's another way, if you do something and you say you put it on your profile, then you can come over and you can put it on your fan page too. And there's more things, and most of these are paid ways to get leads and stuff off your fan page, but I just wanted to show you that. So coming back here, make sure you've optimized your page and pick something. I mean, you don't have to do everything that I said tonight, but pick something if you're not getting leads. Even if you start following some people every day and connecting with 10 new people. I actually have a notebook that I keep of the people that I connected with and where, if I met them in a group. And then I try to make a point to see if, if they're posting something, if they do respond to you, and they may not, to see if they posted anything and it comes through my news feed that I can comment on it. Now, like Marley, I've connected with her, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, and she's been coming over now, and she liked something I posted today, and then she had a, and this is really, it's about building relationships. She posted something, she was doing something with her family, and she posted this nice picture. I just went over and commented on it. Now she just posted this. I could, like and comment this too. And it's a way to, you don't want to be stalking people, but that's how, if you connect with somebody, and 10 people a day, say, in a month, that's 300. And if we go with, I want to say 10%, that's 30 people that responded to you. If you start, looking for things, nothing really weird, but connecting with them and start talking to them, there's conversations, and I've generated this way, just talking to people, and the conversation turns to business. You want to keep it personal first. You don't want to start a business thing and they start saying, I really want to learn how to use Instagram, or I'm new to this, and I'll just say something like, I've got a cool newsletter if you give me your email address. Or if somebody's asking me about Instagram, oh, hey, I have this free training. I can give it to you. And that's a way, and I've generated over 700 leads doing that, just talking to people on Facebook. And there's tons of people on here that have no idea how to generate a lead, or they're trying to figure out Facebook, or they're trying to figure out Instagram. And that's the, going back to this and the marketing system I have access to all these kinds of things that you can give away to people. Like I've got a ton of system campaigns here that are different subjects. Now, Facebook Live just came out. Not everybody has it, but that's a training. And I've gotten some leads from that because I've been giving it out. But I have all these different, there's one for Instagram that you can give out to people. It's putting value in the marketplace. And that's, I mean, if you don't have access to something like this and you feel like this is something you'd want to check out, I'll show you that in a couple of minutes and turn this back to Dale. But I also have a funnel maker, that capture page I showed you in the beginning. I used it, let me just go into this for a second. I've made a ton of funnels where I basically did a short video. And if you're new, don't worry about this. I mean, this is something that's more advanced, but you can make your own capture pages that you can give out. Like if I wanted to take this webinar and give it out as a free training, I could make a capture page, just put, something, oh, hey, you want to learn how to use Facebook, put an opt-in on the capture page, and then put this webinar, because I will have this is being recorded, and send the people after I get a lead and they get the training. But like I've got a ton of different trainings that I've done, made funnels like that. And so this is another tool that I have access to, but you can start giving away stuff. You're putting value into the marketplace. And if you find that you don't have enough people to talk to and you're not generating leads, these are some of the things that you can do. You can do, and it's just not limited to Facebook. You can do it on Twitter, LinkedIn. And Dale and I were going to be doing something sometime in the near future about LinkedIn. Dale knows a lot about it. I've used LinkedIn a little. You can generate leads on LinkedIn. You can connect with people. It's just not a site for job searching. I mean, I know with my blog, let me just go back over here, Facebook. I syndicate, I might do a blog post every day. I syndicate my blog post out to all these social media sites. And if you don't have a blog, that is something you want to get at some point. But like this blog post here, I did this morning to Facebook, I did it to Twitter, I did it to Google+, LinkedIn, I'm on Dig and StumbleUpon. StumbleUpon's another cool site but you can set that up on your blog, because you're sending, this is content, and this is more of a personal development one, but there's other people I'm reaching. So if you're going to get a blog or you're doing videos, you can syndicate them all out. You don't have to just be posting to groups on Facebook. Google Plus has communities you can post in, and LinkedIn has groups. And actually, Dale and I at some point, we'll do a webinar, we'll get into that. But that's some of the stuff that I do on Facebook. I don't want to go on for another hour, and I apologize for the technical difficulties that we got cut off here. But I'm going to turn this back to Dale and see if what else you have to say, or if you have, and anybody that has questions, if you put them in the chat, we will answer those for you.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah, if any of our attendees do have a question, we can take a few moments here to do a little Q&A. Just type them in the chat box, and Linda will go ahead and provide answers to those. But just, Linda went over a lot of information today. Some of the stuff was gone through a little bit quickly, but I think like anything else, like I said, when I started on Facebook, I didn't know Facebook from a library book. And it's just kind of getting out there and doing things. Are you going to do it all right when you start? Absolutely not. Are you going to be able to do some of the things that she talked about meeting 10 people a day? Maybe it's 5 people a day. Maybe it's 5 people every 3 days. I think the result you're looking for is to engage in the platform. Tonight it was all about Facebook. So again, it's just exercising some type of persistent and consistent activity, and you're going to start to see results. You're going to see people following you. You're going to see people reaching back out to you. And again, I think a big part of having success with this is to have some type of reference they can go back to. Linda had mentioned a blog. We're both involved in MLSP, which is just a great platform that kind of gives you a 360-degree A to Z nuts and bolts platform that you can kind of bring all of this under one umbrella and not only learn from it, but put some of these things into practice. So, you know, again, it's starting anything is a little bit of a challenge, but the more you engage, the better you're going to get. And I think Linda can attest just by some of the comments and some of the things I've said. You know, a few months back, I probably would have just sat here like a bump on a log and couldn't contribute anything because I was just beginning. I didn't know a lot about social media, but, you know, it's proving to be advantageous for me as well. So, Linda, I don't know if we're getting any questions in the chat.
No, I don't. And I, for anybody that's interested in checking out MLSP that Dale mentioned, get back to the person. I know there's some people on here that I don't know. Get back to the person that invited you here. We can hook you up. You can take a 10-day trial. The system campaigns I was showing and that Facebook cheat sheet that I showed, that is something that I get from the system that I can give away. And you know, any of us that use it, those are things that I've used to generate a lot of leads, and you can put value in the marketplace because there's people looking to learn how to use those things, and you have things that you can give them to invite them. You know, the Wednesday webinars, that's another thing that you can invite people to. It's different subjects and different people speaking about it. So if nobody has any questions, Dale, if you have anything you want to add, we can wrap this up. I apologize for the technical difficulties. My computer just was zapping out on me, and this broadcast may have gotten split. I may have two recordings. I'll have to check my my YouTube channel about that. But
well, the other thing I wanted to add, Linda, is that if anybody thinks of something after the conclusion, you can definitely go to Facebook and look up Linda Bamba, or, you know, or myself. I mean, you can tag her, pose a question. Linda's great about getting back to people, and obviously she has just about every answer with relative to Facebook and some of the other social media platforms she commented on. So, again, I thank everybody for taking the time to join us. Again, I'll apologize, not to be too redundant about, you know, sometimes technology doesn't always work as it's designed to work, but thank everyone. And Linda, I want to really thank you again for your time in demonstrating your expertise on generating opportunities with leads through Facebook.
sure, and anybody, if you have a question after we get off, message me on Facebook. I'll answer it for you. And for anybody that is interested in checking MLSP, I'll get back to the person who invited you. Thanks everybody for spending, you know, your time to come out, and I will talk to you guys later.